kitchen, that's what you said. I go, I never said that. She goes, that's what you said. No, I didn't. And then I remembered what I said. What I said was, I'm going to take a nap. If I'm awake when the chicken is done, I'll carve it for you. Now, I'll pause here while you all choose a team in this discussion. Yeah. And I'll tell you how naive I was. I thought that was the end of our discussion. I made my point. I wanted to go back to sleep. I rolled over and turned my back on my new wife. She got on the bed with both knees. Get up, you said you'd carve the chicken. Get out there and carve the chicken. You're not going back to bed. You carve the chicken. You hear what I said? I don't even know what this is about. I don't even know how to carve a chicken. Why don't you carve it? You can mutilate it as easily as I could. She says, I don't know how to carve a chicken either. You said you'd carve a chicken. Out there, carve a chicken. I go, all right. Carve your stupid bird. Now I'm walking to the kitchen. I'm not married 4 months. I'm already a mumbling idiot. I don't even like chicken. You want chicken, you go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. They'll carve it up for you. Well, you stupid chicken. Now I'm in the kitchen, not in a good mood. Got a greasy bird, got a knife, I got a fork. In comes my wife, who just told me she didn't know how to carve a chicken. Well, apparently there was a chicken carving class somewhere between our bedroom and the kitchen. Because everybody knows what happened next. Two little hands come out of nowhere. You're doing it all wrong. Let me show you how to do it. Stab the bird. Now I'm waving at her. Oh, yeah. She grabs my wrist and give me the bird. Oh, no, you're not getting this bird. And now, two grown adults, we have children, are wrestling over it. Give me, no, you look at, give me one. And at one point she goes, go back to sleep. Oh, I'll sleep like a baby now. What are you going to run a jackhammer next? And I go, give me that bird. And I go, and the bird flies off the fork. It does like a 1.5 and lands right on her head. Boink. And she looks up at me with grease running down her face. I can't believe you just threw that bird at me. I didn't throw it. Yes, you did. She's on the phone with her dad. I married an animal. 37 years ago. We'll be at parties like a fundraiser where I'm working and we don't know anybody, and they'll find out she's married to the comedian. And they'll say, oh, that must be interesting. And Tammy will go, oh, well, you know, he tried to kill me once with a chicken. And in her version, I whipped it at her skull at 100+ miles an hour. I can always tell when she's telling her version, because at some point, 6 or 7 women turn around and glare at me. And now we're at a point in our marriage where she doesn't say anything. She just eye rolls and sighs. So when I say, what'd you say? She'll go, nothing. And technically, that's true. So I've learned to ask the right question, which is, what were you thinking about? Because that is what will that causes the eye roll and the sigh. She looks at me, has a thought, and goes, So anyway, I walk out of the bedroom. This is months ago. Anyway, I walk out of the bedroom. She looks at me, and she goes, and I go, what were you thinking about? She goes, nothing. I go, no, you were thinking. She goes, you really want to know? Don't you love that? You really want to know? So I'm asking. Then she says, you want the truth? Oh, no, lie to me. You know? All right, I'll tell you the truth. Those pants, I can't stand them. And I go, you bought these for me for Christmas. And she says, yeah, I made a mistake. On the mannequin, they look good. On you, they look like clown pants. I'm telling. And I said, these are my quilty pants. They're fleece pants. I love them. In the winter, I wear them all winter. She goes, I know you do, and I don't like them. I abhor them. And I said, I don't care. I'm wearing them, you know. So a week goes by, and we have garbage day, right? So I'm wheeling the cart down, and I remember I have trash in the trunk of my car. So I pull the trash, and I walk in the thing. I lift the lid, and I'm not kidding you. Buried under it, I see a pant leg. It's like a... And right? So I dig down there, I pull them out. It's my quilty pants. I go... And I run in, and she sees them. She goes, oh, no. And I go, yes! You threw out my quilty pants. And then it dawns on me, I've been missing clothes for years. And my wife has been gaslighting me for years. She would say, oh, you probably left them in a hotel room, you know. You know how forgetful you are. And I'm going, yeah, that's probably it. And then it hits me. I'm going, my tiger pants. She goes, I threw them out. I'm sorry. And then I look at her and I go, my MC Hammer pants. And she says, they were burned. I burned. You burned? She goes, no, you burned them. I just put them under the leaves. You did the rest. You're a psychotic. And now I got this coat. I bought this coat. She calls it a pawpaw coat. She says, don't wear it around me. It's an old man coat. I go, have you seen me? I'm an old man. She goes, don't wear it. So now I got my eye on it. She doesn't know this, but I put an Apple tag in it. So at least now, if I'm on the road, I'll get a notification that it's on its way to the dump. I can watch it on my phone. She's sick. I mentioned we live in the country. We live rural Tennessee, and we've had issues about home security at our house. We have an alarm, but I told her at one point, let me back up. When I got married, my father, for a wedding gift, gave me a 12-gauge shotgun. I did that line in Alabama. It was like you could hear a pin drop, and they were all going, Okay. So anyway, when my father tells me in the next breath, he says, I recognized the shotgun because when I was a kid, my father hunted. He was a hunter, and I was the dog, basically, as a 9-year-old. They'd send me out ahead of everybody and flush out all the wildlife while lunatics fired 12 gauges over my head. And if that didn't kill me, the ride up would. He'd pack me in the car with 5 of his buddies after a night of drinking beer and eating hard-boiled eggs, so... Yeah, there was enough methane in that car to blow up a third world country, man. And by the way they reacted, it was nitrous oxide because they couldn't stop laughing at me. They were just, the boy's green, look at him, So he hands me this 12 gauge, and I go, I remember, that's the gun when I was a kid. He goes, yeah, I got it, I'm giving it to you. And then he tells me the firing pins wore out on it. And I go, so he's giving me a broken gun. It had to be an afterthought. He goes, I got to give the kid something. Oh, I got this thing I want to give. So anyway, we have it in the closet. We move a couple times. And every time we move, Tammy pulls it out and says, what are you going to do? I said, my dad gave me that. It means something to me, so don't worry about it. So one night, we hear a crash in the basement. And we convince ourselves there's an intruder in the house. I don't know if anybody's been through this, but it's a frightening thing. And now I told Tammy, I'm going to go downstairs and confront whatever's down there because I don't want them up here with you and the kids. But if you hear me scream like a 6-year-old school child, please call 911. So now I got to take something down to protect myself. And I remember I have the 12 gauge, even though it's broken and there's no shells in it. I'm thinking, pretty good bluff in America. I mean, really, you point a 12 gauge at some guy cocking, what moron is going to go, I'll bet you that firing pin's wore out. And if he wrestled it away from me and pointed it at me, I could go, it doesn't work. And bunny hop my way to freedom. So I'm thinking win-win for me. Nobody's gonna get shot with my gun. So anyway, now I gotta sneak downstairs. I don't want him to hear me coming, so I'm sneaking down the stairs. Right? And I'm telling you, anybody's been through this. I'm a nervous wreck. I'm perspiring, and I'm halfway down the stairs. And this is how my brain works. I'm going, you got to look like Elmer Fudd coming down these stairs. Right? Made me laugh. So now I'm in the basement. I'm wiping my sweaty head, and I'm ready to flip the light on to surprise the intruder. Tammy yells from upstairs, all the way to the basement at the top of her lungs, Jeffrey, that gun is broken! I'm not a poker player, but I'm guessing any bluff I had went out the window at that moment. Point the gun at the guy. Would that be the broken gun, Jeff? Maybe? Are you feeling lucky today, punk? So now we moved to Tennessee. We're in rural Tennessee. And at one point I go to Tammy and I say, look, I know you don't want working guns in the house. But where we live, if somebody breaks in the middle of the night, unless the officer of the law is on our couch eating a sandwich, it's not going to end well for us. We need to be comfortable with firearms. We need to take the classes we need to take and get comfortable with this. She reluctantly agrees. So anyway, we go to the range. She shoots. She drops the gun. She goes, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to shoot another gun. I said, all right, new rules. If I'm not home and somebody breaks in, start talking to the guy about his health. Yeah, bring up his cholesterol, his blood pressure, you know. The stress of in the line of work he's in, his mom's probably not too happy about it. You know, just guilt him out of the house. That's what I'm saying. So I take a bunch of classes and I get comfortable with firearms. So anyway, I buy a couple handguns. She makes me put them in the safe in the basement. Took me a couple days to figure out. Kind of defeats the whole point of home security. I'd have to convince the guy to let me go downstairs. You know, oh no, I got cookies down there. I'll bring them up. We'll have a good time. So now I got to get a gun safe. So I go to the gun store. I say, I need a safe that only I can get in. So he sells me a biometric fingerprint thing. Apparently, out of 6 billion people on planet Earth, I'm the only one that can open this safe. So here's the theory behind home protection. You're sleeping. You hear a noise, wakes you up. Your wife goes, there's somebody in the house. And you go, I got this, don't worry about it. You reach over, safe opens, and you protect your home. Theory. We have a dress rehearsal one night. I wake up, there's a human being at the foot of my bed at 3 in the morning. I don't know if you've ever, it was her, but I didn't know it. I honestly thought somebody was ready to attack me in the bed. So she's sitting there and I go, I end up picking up the safe and I'm ready to throw it at her. And she's screaming, Jeffrey, it's me. And I go, oh, you. I could have shot you. She says, not from when I saw you, spaz. Holy cow. You know what she was doing at 3 in the morning? She was doing yoga in the front of the bed because she's got this neuropathy thing and her calves were cramping up and she's doing downward dog yoga in front at 3 in the morning. Now we don't even deal with it anymore. I have a noise uniform I put on if we hear noises in the night. That's her bathrobe and big fuzzy slippers. My theory is if there is a burglar, he'll look at me and go, I don't even want to confront the man that married you, lady. You know. So I'll leave you with this. She woke me up at 3 in the morning about a month ago. She wakes me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. She goes, Jeff, wake up, Jeff, wake up, Jeff. It's Jeff Jenna, Jeff Jenna, Jeff Jenna. And I wake up and go, what about Jeff Jenna? She goes, that's the guy you worked with in New York. I couldn't remember his name. You guys were great guys.